In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a long tail cast on, and specifically how long should your tail be for your long tail cast on. So let's just say I'm going to do a 5-inch wide project. So that means I need 5 inches of stitches casted on to my needle. How long does my long tail cast on need to be for that? Well, how I like to measure it out is I'm going to assume that I'm going to have, at least, 4 or 5 inches of just leftover tail that will be remaining at the end of my project. So that means have how long you want your extra tail to be. And then whatever the width is of your project, you're just going to do 3 times that much. So I have my extra, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 times the width of my project. Now this doesn't need to be exact. You may have a little more, a little less of tail, but this is, kind of a rough way of measuring it and ensuring that you're going to have enough tail to do your long tail cast on. Okay, so once you have that measured out, what you're going to do is you're going to put your tail toward you and your working yarn toward the back. And then this is where I just like to take my 2 pincher fingers and I'm going to come under the yarn, and then I'm just going to make a triangle. So I came in, made a loop, I came in with my 2 pinchers, and now I made a triangle. And then I'm going to grab onto that triangle, and then I'm going to grab my needle. And now I like to, you can do a slip knot. If you want to start your first stitch as a slip knot, you can do that. Or I like to just do a cleaner way where I'm just twisting the first stitch onto my needle. And how I do that is I just put my needle facing the same direction as my fingers, and then I just twist it so it's facing the opposite direction as my fingers. And so this is technically your first stitch. And now I'm going to hold on to that stitch so it doesn't slide off my needle. And so to begin my cast on, my long tail cast on, I'm going to go under my thumb. I'm going to go through, under my thumb, over my pointer finger, and then through my thumb. And then I'm going to pull with my thumb. So your back yarn doesn't really move. It's just the front tail that is moving. And so we'll do it again. So I have my triangle. I'm going to go under my thumb, over my pointer finger, and then through my thumb. And then I'm going to pull with my thumb. So now I've got 3 stitches. So under my thumb, over my pointer finger, through my thumb, pull with my thumb. And then if you set it down and you didn't finish, you're going to come through with your 2 pinchers, and then you're going to grab on with, so you come through, grab on, make your triangle, under, over, through, pull. Under, over, through, and pull. And so you're going to do that all the way until you reach the width of your project. Now, I will say, whatever width of your project that you want, normally whatever you're casting on is actually going to be a smidge smaller, because as you knit, your project gets fuller, and so it's actually ends up being wider than what you originally cast it on. So if you really want to know, it's like stretch out your stitches as far as possible, because that's going to give you a better idea of how wide your project will be based off of what you have casted on. So I'm just going to keep going here, slide those down a little bit until I have the desired width. Oops, dropped it. Scoop it back up. So again, under, over, through, and then you can get pretty quick, pretty fast with this, under, over, through. And if you saw what I did right there, I just kind of even, instead of having such a wide, big triangle, you'll start to notice you'll actually bring your fingers even closer together so that you can get through your fingers even faster. But ultimately, you're going to end up having your project be the width that you had measured it for. So here I have just a couple more. All right, so you can see I have my tail left over here. And now if I measure, spread my, and so I have my 5 inches. And there you go. That's simple, that easy. Enjoy.